Hello again, guys and girls, Gears Community. Welcome back. This is episode 9, I believe, of the Road to Gears War 4 series. This is going to be the final episode, but before I jump in, I just want to have a quick apology. I know I've said so much recently in the past few kind of commentaries and stuff. It's like, I've not put out commentaries recently. I'm going to do it more. And then I take forever to put out the next one. And then I say I'm going to put out the next one really soon. And it takes me forever to put out the next one. And I do have some really good reasons for this. These past few weeks, gaming-wise, have been really busy for me. So, like, when it all started off a couple of weeks ago, when the League of Legends World Championship started, and I've been really into that. I've gotten really into League of Legends recently as Gears of War has declined. It's sort of been my outlet as just a game for fun. And being a competitive player on Gears of War 3, that being the start of my competitive gaming career, I guess, it's really pushed me to be more interested in things like that for the League of Legends, like World Champions, the competitive side of that. And on top of that, GTA 5 got released, so I barely ever played Gears, and whenever I got on, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna play some GTA, and I can't be bothered to record a commentary. And then recently I was competing in a doubles tournament, which doubles isn't something I enjoy an incredible amount, but I thought I could win it, and we came so close to winning it. The only match that was a challenge to us, even like we got to the semi-finals, and we knew that if we got to the finals it would be an easy win, but we lost the semi-finals 4-5, and it was only a single map, so yeah, we lost 4-5, and it was a bit of a crazy match. Like there was some crazy rules going on in this tournament, but it was good fun and it was enjoyable. So this is going to be the final episode of the Road to Gears War 4 series, and I'm going to do the opposite of ending on a high note. I'm going to end on the thing that I feel ruined the game the most for me, for at least Gears of War Judgment. I feel that there was one thing which influenced so many other parts of the game, and it just kind of destroyed the game for me. And it just feels like if this one thing was removed, then the influence it put onto other parts of the game, like map design, gameplay, the way game modes play out, the way that we fight for power weapons, the way that everything happens, maybe it could have been a little bit better, and maybe Judgment could have survived. But this one thing was added, and it did ruin the game, in my opinion at least. So what is it that I'm talking about? What is it that influenced map design, influenced gameplay so much, changed the way that execution was played in 1,000 different kind of vectors? What is it? Well, I'll let you know. I guess you guys have probably been guessing long enough. I'm talking about verticality. The fact that we can now jump off buildings and climb up buildings, and that we get shot from the roof, and whenever I'm chasing someone down in execution, they can jump off a building and then run around and then climb up another building, and then I have to chase them down. And even with 2 or 3 of us, it's almost impossible to chase someone down because you cannot stop them anymore. So, verticality. Why did it ruin it? Well, let's start with the way it influenced map design. The factor was that they added this and they went over the top with it. Most games out there you see, like Call of Duty and Halo, that do verticality and they do it right. It just, like, they don't make that the centerpiece of every single one of their maps. They just sit there and they add it, and, you know, maybe there's a building you can climb here, maybe there's something you can jump off here, but it's not like a massive thing like it was in Gears of War Judgment. So it influenced map design, and they tried to make it like the centerpiece of the game, along with free-for-all game mode, and that just kind of ruined the map design for me. The fact that they designed maps both for verticality and free-for-all just absolutely ruined the game for me. On top of that, the verticality itself made game modes like execution unbearable. So what you used to do when you had a 2v1 or a 3v1 or something like that in the previous games is you'd pin someone down in a corner and you'd finally take them out. It would take about a minute or so if they were a good player, and if not, 10, 20 seconds, just pin them down, lancer them, and it would be an easy kill. But in Judgment, they can keep on running, and there's no way of catching them. There's no way of cutting them off, because there's about 50 different directions they can go in now. For a good example of this would be, or a good example of how it worked in previous games would be Hotel on Gears of War 3. So classic map. Basically, the way it worked was, as soon as one person got into like a 1v2 or a 1v3, they'd go up to the torque bow and they try and force someone to have to 1v1 them, and that's just how it worked. And eventually that person would either get a 1v1 and then he'd go around and try doing it again, and maybe he'd clutch it, or eventually he would get crossed out and he'd die. But if this was Gears of War Judgment, he would just run up there, and when they tried to come from two different directions, he would jump off the edge and he would run out the front door, and that would just be annoying as hell. And the reason that they'd always go to that position instead of anywhere else is because that's the only position that was really safe. And it was good because it was safe for one player, but it was also for the other team, it allowed them to pin him in. And this just ruined the game for me. The fact that Judgment, you can't pin someone in, it made Execution a non-viable game type for competitive play. It completely destroyed competitive play on Judgment, along with a bunch of other things. The fact that we couldn't play Execution, the main game mode, it just ruined it. And I can't really explain it in any other way than that. But there were so many other things. The fact was that, there wasn't the fair kind of map design that there was previously. You never fought for power weapons anymore because they made people come from different heights on the map and things like that. It gave certain teams a distinct advantage, and it just kind of destroyed the gameplay for me. But this has been more of a rant rather than me just saying, oh, it can be improved in this way and that way. But this is just like my final opinion. And I hope that if there is ever a Gears of War 4, that they take this series into account and take the comment section into account, because I know you guys haven't always agreed with me, but you're always intelligent people and you always express your opinions in good and effective ways. So if you don't agree with me on this, leave it down in the comment section. Other than that, guys, thanks you for watching, and goodbye.